Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown. And I know a lot of you have been following the Madeleine Soto, uh, now murder. She went missing, and 4 days later, her body was found in Orlando, Florida. And this guy has been arrested. That is the 37-year-old Stearns, who is the boyfriend of Madeleine's mother. And Madeleine's mother is Jennifer Soto. He's been arrested. Uh, a very bad outcome, which was not unexpected. But fortunately, there's a lot of evidence that points to this. Well, I always call them piece of crap that this mother hooked up with and brought into the home of her daughter. This guy, um, he apparently had some interesting stuff on his phone, which I'm assuming is child pornography, concerned the police greatly. But he was supposed to be taking her to school. At least that's a story. And yet he was found dumping her backpack and her laptop in a trash can. And then she was seen in his car after he dumped those things, which is kind of unusual because he was supposed to be taking her to school. And why would he be dumping her things in the trash can if he was taking her to school? Oh, because he wasn't taking her to school, because although she was seen in the vehicle he was driving, she was not alive at that point. So yes, Madeleine was in his car, but not alive. And the area that she was dumped in, apparently he was seen changing a tire and so forth. So a whole lot of stuff led to his arrest. But that's not the question people are asking me. People are asking me, did Jennifer Soto, the mother of Madeleine, know that he killed her daughter? Did she know that? And nobody likes to think that. So, I'm reading one of the articles and it says, and then the police had to give the devastating news to the mom that her daughter was found dead. I don't think it was devastating news. It was because she already knew, absolutely, in my opinion as a profiler, she knew her daughter was dead already. And why do I say that? All right. Let me, I'm going to link in the description this interview that she did. She was in the first part of the interview, and then Stearns, the creepy POS boyfriend, was in the other part of it. And his part of it is kind of interesting. He's like, oh, I feel so bad. He's this crocodile tear dude. And I mean, sure. He says, I dropped her off at school. Well, I didn't drop her off at school. I dropped her off near the school, and I should have, whatever. He comes up with a whole bunch of excuses for what he should have done, but he didn't. And therefore, she walked away from his vehicle and somebody got her. Of course, we all know that's not true. We know that's not true. But here's the really interesting question. People say, well, clearly he is guilty. Okay, allegedly guilty. But what about mom? What did she know? So I'm watching her. I'm not going to get into a real deep statement analysis of all her behaviors and statements. But I was watching this video and I got to, let me look at the exact point, 419. 419. Okay, so when you go to the video below, go to 419. This is where I just went, she knew. She knew. So what she had this very bizarre behavior in this interview. She's shaking constantly. She's shaking constantly. And although obviously if your daughter's missing and you don't know what's happened to her, you're going to be distraught. But I've never seen a parent shaking constantly like she's shaking. I believe the shaking was because she knew her daughter was dead. She knew who did it, which was her boyfriend. And she is shaking because she knows it's all going to come to it. It's all going to happen pretty soon. The police are going to find out what's going on. She, in this interview, shake. She uses, a lot of times she said, we dropped her off. But we did never drop her off. He dropped her off. Her boyfriend dropped her off. Oh, no. Oh, no, he didn't actually. See, this is a problem. So the claim is that she constantly says we dropped her off at school. Like they're together dropping the child off. And since we know that Stephen was alone in the car with the body of her daughter, we know the two of them did not do so. Why is she protecting her boyfriend by saying they did this, they dropped the child off together? Because what she's trying to tell the police is, my child was alive when we dropped her off. But then she wavers on that, and then she eventually doesn't go real well as far as we goes, because we never existed dropping that child off from school. And we never took that child out of the house, even to go anyplace in the morning. You know where it comes down to? 419. Here's the creepiest thing ever. So mom says, the interviewer in this this little show, the reporter, asked her a question and she blew the answer. And I just thought, wow, thank you very much, reporter here. Good job. The reporter said, when was the last time you saw, what was the last, no, he said, what was the last conversation you had with your daughter? And she said, it was after her birthday party. That was the day before she was supposed to go to school and disappear. She said, after her birthday party, which she didn't go to, by the way, because she was too busy working and all that kind of stuff. She didn't go to the party. She said, but she came home, and I guess they had this wonderful chat about how happy the party was and how she loved her gifts and all that stuff. And then she says, which just blew my mind, and then we said good night. Good night. That was the last conversation Jennifer Soto had with her daughter, Madeleine. She said good night. She never saw her after that. Oh, maybe she saw her, but she didn't have any conversations after that. So if she and her boyfriend took Madeleine to school, are you telling me that they had no conversations that morning over clothing, breakfast, getting in the car, driving to school? There were zero conversations? Of course, that's nonsense. She had no conversations with her daughter after that night. She said good night, and her daughter, at that point, at some point after that, her daughter was murdered. Her boyfriend then takes her daughter, puts her body in the car, takes her items, her laptop and her backpack, as to fake dropping Madeleine off at school. And he dumps her body and her items to try to pretend that Madeleine went to school and then went missing, or got missing on the way to school because he didn't know how to drop her in front of the school. He dropped her a distance from the school so she could go missing. She knows that her daughter died before she went to school. She knows her daughter never got into that car. And the simple fact that she is covering for her boyfriend. She is covering for the man who killed her daughter. Her boyfriend is more important to her than her daughter. That's what I believe. And I've seen this story too many times, where a mother, she wants that relationship so much. She wants to have that man in her life so much that she will sacrifice her daughter. If that happens, it's like too bad. Her daughter said she wanted to run away and go live in the woods, probably because she was being molested and raped by this garbage boyfriend of hers. Did she do anything about it? My answer to that is probably not. She was not willing to stand. She was not willing to get rid of the boyfriend to save her daughter, because she wanted what she had with her boyfriend. Her daughter gets murdered and she's still standing up for her boyfriend. She keeps saying, we got in the car. If the last time you talked to your daughter was at night, and your daughter disappears the next day, and your boyfriend is the one who took her to school, immediately you would be suspicious. You wouldn't be protecting him. unless you want to protect him, unless you're okay with protecting him because you're more interested in keeping him safe from the police, hoping that police don't hone in on him or you. You're more concerned about the two of you than you ever were concerned about your daughter. Yeah, so that's what I think of Mom. They'll have to, I don't know what's going to happen in a court of law, whether they'll charge her with accessory after the fact. In other words, you knew what happened and you still tried to cover for your boyfriend. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But I 100% hope that she goes down with him. She brought this creep into the house. She had a vulnerable daughter, and she brought this guy in who clearly had issues. Now, you could say that she had no clue. But by the time that morning came, and he took her to school, and she started saying, we took her to school and covering for this guy. I'm done. I'm sorry. I feel very badly for Madeleine that she had you as a mother. I don't feel sorry for her at all. I hope they put both of you away. It's just quite appalled. So anyway, that was the question you all asked me about, and that's my answer. If you're new to the channel, hey, please subscribe to the channel. Check out all my cases I've discussed. I have hundreds of videos, many different cases, and more in depth than this. Obviously, I do a show every week, a case show. It's usually 2 hours long. I discuss all the evidence. And in this particular case, there's not a lot of evidence to discuss. It's pretty obvious to me. But one thing I have a very strong opinion on is when you're a mother and you're living with your children have to be more important than any guy. I don't care if you're lonely. I don't care if you want sex. You don't bring some creep into the house around your children unless you're 100% sure that they're safe. And you weren't even married to this guy. He's your boyfriend. I've looked to try to find out more information about this guy, but haven't found out too much yet. But he shouldn't have been in your home. If you wanted to sleep with this guy, you should have just gone over to his house and slept with him and come back home. But no, this guy moves in with you, which tells me maybe there's something wrong with him, that he doesn't have enough money to live on his own. He moves in with you and your little girl. I have no sympathy for her. I don't. Maybe I'm mean. But this girl's dead because of you. Now, he did it, but you helped. One way or the other. You cared more about him than you did about her. Anyway, again, that's it. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, check my playlist. This one just gets to me. Anyway, see ya. Bye.